Hi everybody, my name is Alan. On behalf of the crew, I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Bridging Heaven and Earth. You know, I was just sitting here and probably about 5 or 6 or 7 years ago now, I was involved in writing this song. And part of writing the song was, you know, we were writing the lyrics and all that, and we ended up calling the song Oh Happy Day. And in the song, the lyrics would talk about what would make a happy day, you know, what would make, for each of us human beings on the planet, what would make it blissful, what would make it joyous, what would make it a day that we would remember, what would make it so harmonious, so peaceful, so loving, so collaborative, so creative, that we just felt that, wow, this was a really special day. And really, we all have the opportunity to have those days and have more of those days and have those days come together and have weeks like that and months like that and years like that. And then as each day and each week and each month passes, we end up having a joyous and loving and beautiful and creative and collaborative life. And what would it take on this planet? We know that there is, at this moment, there's still turmoil and trials and tribulations and mortgage crises and foreclosures and all the things that in essence rob us of those joyous days, of oh happy days. And yet something in us as a human being, as all of us and human beings, all the countries and all the religions and all the shapes and sizes and sexual preferences, we know somewhere deep inside, inside us, every one of us, that there is an unconditional love, a grand love, a monumental oneness, what we call in every corner of the world God or truth or Brahman or however you would describe it, the Creator. And we know that there's an experience of that. Whatever you would call it is not really an issue. The issue is, how do we have that experience and have that happy day? And again, you know, what this show is about, what Bridging Heaven and Earth is about, is to bring out that vibration, to bring out that connection, to bring before you people whose lives are dedicated to the recognition, the realization, the movement, the vibration, the calling, the intention of that oneness, of that truth, of that love, of that God. And it's such an honor for us to be involved with you, to be participating in bringing that message out over and over and over again. I mean, all the different portions and all the different spokes on the wheel. The ways to describe that way into the heart, that way to heal the heart of the planet, that way into the recognition of that love. And tonight's guest has been a guest before. Mary St. Marie is just an extraordinary being whose gifts are so vast and varied. She's a mystic artist, she's a writer, she's a visionary, she's a spiritual educator, she's the author of numerous books, including, I think the latest is called Holy Sight. And what we decided, we've talked about that before, and Mary's put in an incredible piece into the International Healing Art Project for Bridging. But now what's coming forth through her and what is beginning to manifest through her, although she's had this vision for, I think, 15 or 20 years now, is she's the founder of EarthCare Global TV, which came as a vision, and it's part of the new paradigms we're building, part of the new media, part of the bridge between heaven and earth, where all these things that in a way exist now will exist with the core of love, will exist with the core of collaboration, will exist with the core of connection, with the core of the vibration and experience of oneness. And we're going to talk a lot about this vision of EarthCare Global TV. And we have two extraordinary pieces of art or posters, or one of this is by Mary, is the art piece she did for the Bridging Heaven and Earth art project. And the other is a beautiful piece of art that was made into a flyer for the EarthCare Global TV, and you'll just see this extraordinary art. And then we have two beautiful music videos. One is by an extraordinary guitarist, Scott Huckabay, and the other one, as most of you know, we're involved with this international healing art project that came as a vision to us to reach out to the world, to anyone, any skill level, any medium, any format, to produce a new original piece based on the theme Bridging Heaven and Earth. And pieces have been coming in of all sizes, of all shapes, of all mediums, all skill levels from 3 to 93, just extraordinary pieces. And we've done a beautiful music video. This Bridging's extraordinary tech guy, George Graves, who does a lot of our editing, he put together a Bridging art music video, and the music behind it is this Lesia piece that she and I wrote. It's called The Question. Love is the question and love is the answer. So you'll see that, and you'll see the Scott Huckabay piece, and you'll see art by Mary, and just talk about like the new paradigms that are coming, the new ways for us all to come together in collaboration, in creativity, joyously and lovingly playing on this planet and doing all these grand things, doing all these magnificent things. And it's just such a great time for us, a wondrous time to be here and be able to be doing these things. So the first video we're going to see is this, well, let's do the meditation first. So get us settled and get us ready to begin this journey. So join me in a short meditation. If you don't know meditation, just relax, settle into your chair, and just come with Mary and I, come with this art, come with Scott, and have this hour of love. Okay, so join me in a short meditation. Thank you. So the first video is this beautiful art music video put together by George Graves. It's, I don't know, 25, 30, 35 pieces of art that have come into the art project as an acupuncture, as a healing for the planet. Extraordinary people from all over the globe. These pictures have come from literally all over the planet, come here to, for us to show them on the show, and as part of a healing for the planet. So that's the video, George Graves, and the music is Lesia, the Lesia Bridging Heaven and Earth CD, The Question. So enjoy.
We can try too hard when it's easy. We can want too much we don't really need. We can save our laughter for tomorrow. We can trap ourselves when we're so ourselves so damn important. We can hide our hearts, pretend we don't care. God is the question.
Hi everybody, welcome back. So, yeah, that was a beautiful video. Thank you, George. And anybody who wants to be involved with the art project, just let us know. You'll see the numbers and the email and the website, and everybody's welcome, infinite and inclusive. So welcome, Mary.
Thank you, Alan.
So can you talk for a minute about this beautiful art piece flyer, and just that'll get us started on this EarthCare Global.
Sure. EarthCare Global TV poster was created by a combination of my artwork and a picture of the art of the globe. And the reason I picked that particular piece of art is you can see a male and a female. In front of the female, closer to us, it looks like she has a mask, but what it really is just the whole front of the face. If you remove that front of the face, what you have is archetypal woman. If the man did it, it'd be archetypal man. So archetypal he and she, the original template. So all of the stars behind there is the symbol of universal cosmic consciousness, awareness, I am awareness, whatever name we want to give to God. So we have man and woman holding that space for the perfection of the earth and all of her inhabitants, the kingdoms and the elements in their wholeness, in their purity.
Wow. And you were on not too long ago on Bridging, and we talked a lot about your art and your healing and your books. But this time we really wanted to focus on your vision for EarthCare Global TV and how it came to be. Why don't you really get into that? Because I think it's just really an exciting way. And we talk about new paradigms all the time, and this is one of the ways that media and just can really explode and give people an energy, a vibration, a healing, information. So why don't you talk about it?
Okay, I'd like to begin by speaking a little bit like deductively, just to give the whole picture of, and how it fits in with bridging. Is one of the quotations I've been using is giving love a body begets a new culture.
Say it again.
Giving love a body creates a new culture. The meaning of culture is cult of light. People have a negative connotation about the word cult. Cult, the ancient meaning of cult is gathering. The ancient meaning of the word you are, is light, gathering of light. So giving love a body creates a gathering of light. That is what we are doing on the planet. And if we focus on the creation of this new culture, whether we call it a new earth, a new civilization, a new epoch, whatever name, it's the nameless, the wordless and the nameless, emerging, birthing into what we call the appearance world, the 3D. And as the archetypes that I was talking about, in the archetypal realm, which is a place anybody can go in meditation, it wasn't just for Joseph Campbell. He really wanted us to access that. And as we let go of all of our concepts and thoughts and opinions and beliefs, what is remaining is just one divine consciousness. That is the oneness. And so as that manifests through man and woman on the planet, which it's doing at ever increasing speed, and what you're assisting with bridging and bringing all of the different people so that they're seeing how to do that and what's happening from another place. And so I'm also showing here that we can have an aerial view of the planet. It would be as if you and I were sitting out in the clouds right now, and here's the planet Earth, and we're looking at planet Earth, okay? That we have an aerial view. Any one of us can just take that and do what I call holy sight from my book on planet Earth. You can feel the vibration, you can feel the frequency, you can feel the energy. We don't have to do anything like just look in at kind of a negative area and do something, because something on the other side of the earth may have created it. So if you're doing something here, no, we do the whole earth. So it seems that I'm getting away from it, but I'm not. I'm talking about the giving love a body. So in order to speak a little bit more about it, I'm going to get inductive and tell a little bit about the story of how this came about through me at a time when I thought I was just doing visionary art. That was plenty for me. I was happy doing visionary art and writing and doing a little sculpting and doing my sessions and workshops. And then what happened in 1996, there were 2 nights where light came in, and it was easy to translate what was coming in. I simply saw the abundance and the power of the universe coming back to the people of the world. It was very, very simple, and it was coming. There was a whole awareness of what media was going to do in order for that to happen, which we already see through Oprah, Eckhart Tolle, what you're doing. I mean, so when I just found out recently that Bill Moyers is part of the media reform movement. He just spoke in Indianapolis. They're talking about reforming a more collective part of the media, but it's already reformed, is the piece that I'm talking about here. I mean, it's already happening through people like you. And so I wondered, like, why in the world did I have this vision? That was in '96. It made absolutely no sense, and I just kind of prayed and went, well, I don't know what to do with this, and if there's something I'm to do. So nothing happened for a year. And in 1997, so 11 years ago, there was a period of several months where the information for EarthCare Global TV started just dropping in. I hear a lot of people talk about getting a download just like with a computer. Well, that's basically what happened. And it was so strong that I couldn't do anything else for a period of time. Ended up feeling like I was to sell my home, which I did, and moved to Crestone, Colorado for the winter, where I organized all the materials that had come through. And after that, I continued doing what I was doing before for earning a living. And in the background of that, then, for 10 years, I've done research and archiving and meeting with just endless numbers of people that will assist in this all coming together. And to describe the main mission or purpose of EarthCare Global TV is, it is for the unification of EarthCare. And that doesn't mean that EarthCare Global TV is going to do the unifying. The unifying obviously comes from the oneness. That's why people like Paul Hawken in Blessed Unrest talk about the silent movement. This silent movement is just presence breaking through into the consciousness of humanity, whether they wake up to herbs or to music or to healing or to art. I mean, all the different things that they can like wake up to so that the formless formed, giving love a body again. So EarthCare Global TV then is an educational, inspirational, 24-hour-a-day news, television, media program station. And it will, as I said, serve to unify, but it will also invite any pre-existing organizations, any pre-existing individuals that have been already putting these things together for the last 30 to 40 years. The environmental thing that's been taking off ever since we've had Al Gore's movie and Leonardo DiCaprio's movie, it was already happening in the 60s. I mean, so this isn't like a new movement or something, the idea of EarthCare. So these people have already been creating movies, documentaries, they have all kinds of models ready, and this is what will get broadcast worldwide. And the idea here is also to have satellite for all of the last 10 years. What's been happening is I'll be invited to a meeting, all of a sudden somebody says, oh, the Union for Concerned Scientists are here, and somebody says, yeah, we can get the satellite for you. So slowly but surely the connections are being made. And I would say that it's probably happening in the same way that I paint, in the same way that I do a session, which is from the background to the foreground. So this is almost like doing a painting. It's the same as doing a painting. It's showing up with seeing what's already there and then observing in meditation of what is coming forth and just doing the piece and watching it arrive. Part of the vision, for instance, includes a monitoring system that monitors what's happening around the globe, where there is, green light, orange light, red light, experts around the monitoring system, so that it's set up that people such as the Earthwatch people, they've already been doing this. This is simply going to amplify it, probably connect with Google is how it would happen. And then when I was after I left Crestone, I ended up in Taos and connected with a lot of people in Santa Fe. I ended up connecting with the man who has seen the entire vision of the monitoring system and said, it's like, let me know when it's time to do that. So the people are in the wings. It was just showing me that the people are in the wings. I got a phone call one day and was told, call this man in Santa Fe. And so I called him. Well, he has created what's called EarthCare International. And what he and his group of people are doing is creating the environmental sustainable curricula for the high school level. And I said, well, why do you have the name international? He said, well, when the vision came through, we saw that it would be international. And I said, do you know how you're going to get it international? We haven't a clue. And I said, well, I think I have a clue. I'll get back in touch with you. So this is how my archives just kept growing and growing and growing and are where they are now, because these people are already doing it. It's not like something new is going to get created. These people are out there doing it, and very few people know. Once there's EarthCare Global TV, because we live in a light wave universe, it can all just begin to go out there.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. In a way, we'll get all these separate points of light connected to have a beam of light.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's
to
right.
build this big media or umbrella or circus tent or however you would do it, and everybody can come in.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly. That's right. The other thing that is part of the purpose and mission of EarthCare Global TV is educating about the universal law of balance. When people begin to work at the so-called problems around the planet, they're focalizing on the problem that is in duality rather than going back to the universal principle. Thus, we get scientists and many other people working on theories and postulates which are false premises. And if you start with a false premise, you're
not going to end so good.
Yeah, you're not going to end so good. I just finished reading Riane Eisler's book, The Real Wealth of Nations. She's talking about a caring, she uses the word care, her whole premise is a caring economics. And she said when Adam Smith wrote the first Wealth of Nations and created capitalism, she said it's all based on a false premise, and she just lines it out. So now what we have to do is realize that if we don't understand the basic principles of the universe, like the law of balance is the law of nature, is the law of love. So we're back to what you're doing here at Bridging. And that principle of love is the yin and yang in action. It's the giving and the equal re-giving. If we don't have that balance, because we live in an electrically sexed universe, yin and yang, no matter how you look at everything, there's a yin and yang of everything in so-called duality. So those have to be in perfect balance. They haven't been in balance, and a matriarchy wouldn't be any better than a patriarchy. We've got to have these things in balance at all the levels. So EarthCare Global TV is about the law of balance in all aspects of caring for the earth.
Wow.
So,
No, it's really, I mean, so many of the shows now are about the new paradigms and the new ways of dealing with, the things that we've always dealt with before: relationships, money, media, economics, health.
exactly.
Where the root is love, where the root is the experience of the connection, rather than competition or fear or jealousy or greed or anything like that. So it will change everything about it, even though it could look a lot the same.
Exactly. Well, another example that I would give, just to make the law of balance like ultra simple: if you have two children and a seesaw, and you have that little fulcrum in the middle, and here's the seesaw, and somebody's on both ends, the yin and the yang going up and down, the power is not in the yin and yang, the power is in the fulcrum. And so when people begin to realize that that becomes the example of spirit, of divine consciousness, and that this is just the play of that, it puts it in a very playful perspective. And ultimately, EarthCare Global TV, another aspect about it is that, we all know the quote of people with no vision will perish, okay? So the question then becomes, well, what's the vision? Each person is going to have to find their own way to find what their vision of wholeness is. Love is the wholeness, and to find that. So we have action born of vision instead of reaction born of fear and anger. And a lot of people that are waking up still think that they have to save or change or heal or control or manipulate that which they don't want to see anymore, without realizing that if they had vision and would just go straight for that, straight for that, these other things would have no power. It's like a balloon that got pricked, and it's gone.
Yeah, we go around squeezing the balloon now and go, why is there still problem?
Right.
Exactly. We just squeeze something.
Exactly.
We saved the whale there, we saved the dolphin here, but we didn't heal the root.
Exactly. So really, yeah, and what you just said is actually can tend to perpetuate it without even realizing one. It
looks like you're doing the right thing.
Exactly.
Right.
And so it's really about getting something very, very clear, like in my archives.
Well, let's talk about this in a little while. We'll get to all the archives and stuff. But let's do the second video. It's a beautiful video. Scott Huckabay, he's a guitar virtuoso. You could tell he just plays in joy and lives in just joyous and loving. So Scott Huckabay, enjoy.
This music really tickles me inside. Makes me feel really happy inside.
It means love, truth, peace. The whole cosmic celebration of life.
Hi everybody, welcome back. So thank you, Scott, for sending us a beautiful piece. And the piece you're seeing in between us is a piece Mary did for the Bridging Art Project, Dancer of the Light She. Just amazing pieces coming from all over the world, from people with great gifts like Mary and people who are not traditional great painters but are putting out just extraordinary healing energies. So anybody's welcome. So why don't you talk a little bit about this one, Mary, and how it came to be.
All right, thank you. Well, it came to be because I was going to create a piece for,
right.
for bridging.
Right. I called her like every 3 days for about a year and a half. I was not letting her off the hook.
You didn't let me off the hook, and
Right.
I finally got, I'm not going to be let off the hook.
Mm.
So when I started painting, Alan, I never know what I'm going to paint, and it comes from the background, the ground of being, to the foreground for me. And so I didn't even say, okay, this is for Alan and bridging. It was just like, I totally get out of the way. I'm just not there, and I let it come through. So when this particular piece came through, the she is, for me, is the divine feminine, which is the feminine principle of woman and of man. So it's symbolic to me of the yin of man and woman arising on the planet right now, so that we have left-right brain, so we're right back to the law of balance, whether it's in, for me, whether it's in artwork or whether it's in agriculture, whether it's in any particular area. And because she's the dancer of the light, she's part of the new creator of the new culture, which is the gathering of light that I shared a little bit, earlier. And the word dance is very important to me, because dancing is always a joyful, ecstatic kind of an experience. And people normally think of things like cleaning up the pollution of the planet as, it's kind of like asking a teenager to clean up their room, so there's that initial feeling of you dread, down experience, don't want to do it. Dancer of the Light She is about making this creation of the new culture, this emerging new culture, is a celebration. It's a dance. It's the dance of the oneness. It's a ceremonial dance of oneness. And it can all be a beautiful thing through everybody. It doesn't have to be drudgery or a battle. We can leave the battles. We can leave the anguish. We can leave the drama of duality. In fact, when I was talking earlier about Al Gore's movie and Leonardo DiCaprio's, people creating movies like this have done a wonderful thing for humanity, because they've exposed things that needed to be exposed. EarthCare Global TV is about what's next, and it's about creating from the place of vision that I was talking about, rather than trying to stop things or battle things or fight things. It's about asking the right questions. If you say, how shall we live in order to have purity? Whether that's pure food, water, air, earth, how shall we live? That is a totally different question than a question such as, let's see, shall we stop 5% of the pollution by 25 years, or shall we just fine them if they pollute? It's not about that. It's about rising in the hearts and souls of the people worldwide, this desire to create the new culture.
To live in harmony.
Absolutely. That harmony is definitely the balance. And so each person is awakening will find their way of making their contribution. And so that gets us back to the archiving that I was talking about, is that in the archiving, there are huge numbers of people out there that have been doing amazing things, just waiting to have, well, you're doing it here at Bridging. You're giving them an opportunity to broadcast their story of of oneness. So in the area of EarthCare, EarthCare will give opportunities to people that are showing how to live that. One example, some people may have already seen it, there's a man and his wife that live in Austria in an area that is called the Siberia of Austria. He's called The Rebel Farmer, that's the name of his documentary. This man has taken agriculture out of every box you can imagine for the last 40 years. He grows without any good or bad pesticides, you know, because there's good ones too. He doesn't even have to use them. He has observed and listened to nature and taken everything out of the box. He doesn't have to irrigate. He doesn't have to pull weeds. He doesn't have to, everything composts itself. Without going into any details, I mean, people can watch in order to find out the details, but here is this being that is living so in balance, so in harmony with nature, and now has created that which he can share with the world. It is absolutely stunning what this one person, he is growing at 3,300 to 4,900 feet. He is growing every tropical fruit except bananas, and he's working on that. So he has asked nature and listened to nature and watched nature and has figured out how to do what nobody has been able to do. He's already broken through into another paradigm. He himself is living in it, whether other people are living in it or not. And so these are the kinds of things, just like you're doing, where a healer comes on and speaks and is showing people into another paradigm. So this will do it in terms of caring for the earth and whether all the kinds of sustainability and caring for the earth.
And you're basically traveling and reaching out to people with this message, you know, in your way, and you're finding that there's a tremendous hunger for it, a tremendous realization of its value, a tremendous realization of the importance of it?
Absolutely. These people that already have the pieces have their piece ready to give in the creating of the new culture. They're just, you know, they're beginning to get it out there, but this we're talking about with EarthCare Global TV of getting it out worldwide, you know, through educational systems, you know, into third world countries that might need it. It's educating people more rapidly so that the change can happen smoothly and easily. I hear people here and there talk about doomsday Armageddons and collapses, economic collapses. I don't feel any of it has to happen. You know, they talk about prophecies as well. Prophecies are warnings. They're messengers of change, and we are the very change. If we're focused on the vision and being that very change, we have no reason to prepare for disaster if all of our attention is preparing for disaster. So those prophecies are really subject to change. And we are the change, so there's not a problem. It's just to keep moving forward. I was shown that EarthCare Global TV was for the people and by the people and for the inhabitants and all of the inhabitants and all the elements. So reverence really for all life. That would include the atmosphere, that would, you know, the ionosphere, like all of it, a reverence for all of it. And how will we act? I was in another state and was invited to a gathering one day, and I had one of the most amazing experiences that would show a little bit more of how this can come to pass. I was at a gathering that the topic wasn't something that I was like feeling that I wanted to be there. So I was out in the flower gardens, and this one little boy, about 10 years old, was following me about and talking to me about Iraq and guns and like all this stuff. And I just kind of kept trying to find a new place to be because I didn't want to make him feel bad or anything. I finally made my way into the house, and he kept following me everywhere. And he sat down, asked if he could sit down beside me, and I said yes. And he was still talking about all of these conflicting, like lots of conflicts and war things that he had been fed. And I looked at him and I said, I have a question for you. And he said, okay. He said, I have a very big imagination. Yeah, ask me. And I said, how can humanity live harmoniously without war? How could that happen? And his eyes got like big like saucers, and he said, well, that's a pretty big question. Nobody's ever asked me that. He said, ever. He said, I'll need a minute. And I went, okay. So he's sitting quietly. I'm looking at a magazine, and 10, 15 minutes passes. He says, I have an answer. I said, great. He said, it'll have to come from the parents and the teachers. They will have to teach us that instead of about war. And he said, it's very simple. It's very simple. That's the answer. And I meditated a lot on that in the days and weeks after that, because I realized that when his mind was given a question that was based on the law of balance and was based on love, it was very easy. Life wasn't complex. It was an easy answer. And so it's one of the sections of EarthCare Global TV is literally a section with these new youth and asking them questions and letting them be part of a living curricula. It's very important having a living curricula. When I left high school and college English teaching many, many years ago, 35 years ago, I think, I realized that the curriculums, and I was helping to write them, so I can say this about them, that they weren't living curricula. And
I wasn't, and I still could, so you don't have to really be involved to see that they're not serving the love exactly.
Exactly.
Not exactly.
Exactly. And so I simply had to leave, and so now I can see exactly how they can be brought in and allow their very imaginative minds that haven't been coated with lots of theories and hypotheses and beliefs and on, just ask them what they would do. Very, very pure responses and answers. So that will be one of the categories. And people ask me all the time, well, how long do you think it's going to take to create this? Why don't you just kind of go online and try to start online? The reason I'm doing it the way I'm doing it, it's how the vision was given to me. I simply can't do it any other way because this is the way it's being given to me. And so I am in the process of fundraising for the land and for the station and for the staff. And it's a very interesting thing because you can look at 10 million people giving $1 a piece or one person giving $10 million. It doesn't matter how it happens. It's the
or
people,
both. I mean,
exactly, or both. But it's the people waking up that will recognize it and
the
fund
value,
it. Mm-hmm.
the opportunity. That's
exactly. So that's where that is right now. And I was given so far 38 categories that will be on the news around the globe. And your watchers probably already know, but Discovery Channel has now created Planet Green, which is wonderful, ecotainment. The first time there's been a 24-hour-a-day ecotainment TV show, and this is very, very beautiful. It's going to create a whole foundation of consciousness, awareness around the environment, around what people can do individually in their lives. It's a beautiful thing. And there's another woman that is a social entrepreneur, Dr. Hazel Henderson, who is a friend of Rianne Eisler's, who also has an environmental show about the environment and economics. Americans being so attuned to the stock market and so forth, she's like the perfect person. Again, Americans like entertainment and economics, so that seems like the perfect way for things to get started and to bring it in. So it's a beautiful start. And it's the economics and the entertainment are 2 of the 38 categories that I've seen. So, you know, there's room for, we have musicians singing about EarthCare, we have artists painting about EarthCare, which is another way of sharing love. We have singers, we have, in fact, what I did is I brought with me the list. I won't go through all of them, but we have areas like clean transportation and fuel, all the alternative energies, the voice of the indigenous wisdom. I said the voice of the youth. Oh, environmental careers. People, there are going to be many, many people as we shift for valuing purity. There are going to be many people that have been in polluting jobs that are going to need new jobs. So these are already becoming more and more available. It's very, very amazing. I went to the Green Festival in San Francisco a little over a year ago, and there was huge amount of booths about green investing. So a lot of the upcoming environmental businesses need investors. So it's just simply, again, instead of collapsing, it's just all beautifully spiraling into an expression of love. Like, how can we care for the earth? I mean, each person can just ask himself, what is my role in caring for the earth?
And ultimately, it's caring for ourselves and each other. I mean,
absolutely.
You know, because,
yes.
you know, when you were talking about these 38 categories, I was thinking there are an infinite number of categories.
Right.
Because there's always infinite number of bridging shows, there's infinite number of things we can do, because it's just, I mean, it's short of that one energy, everything else is not infinite, but there's so many spokes on the wheel.
Exactly.
And so many ways that we could care for each other, care for the planet, care for everything. So now we're actually coming to the end of this show, amazingly enough. I mean, it's interesting because we shot 2 shows tonight and they went so fast. It was like amazing. So if you want any information about Mary, EarthCare Global TV, Mary's visionary art, the books, the poetry, you know, just give me a call. Alan, 805-687-2053, 805-687-2053. It's an opportunity for us all. Let's all do it together. Good night. God bless you. Thank you.